You know how you impress a chick? So we're gonna have to relocate this just a little bit. To the left, to the left. Orange is positive. Thinking one of these is gonna be a lot smaller, so I'm gonna steal a screw. This is where one of the few instances the vintage cap is actually smaller than the replacement cap. So we mounted it from the side. Or if I were Geddy Lee, I would say one mounted it to the side. So that's it. We're able to get away with that. And I don't think the screws sticking out of the back are really that jarring. It's either that or the front panel. We went ahead and replaced that. And I guess we'll check the jacks. See if we're getting any buzzies. And I'm going to hit this with a leaf blower. Get all the shavings out of it. So we out here. Just get in the couch. Go on. Uh-oh. And if the front's missing, you just draw it back on. So black is this, red is that, and white is the tip. I gotta move the strap up a little bit. You hear that, Travis? It's too low. It's not just a guitar, it's a device. It's a guitar device. Guess where this is going? So we're achieving the single coil with this switch. That's gonna go back to being an on-off. This is an 18-volt guitar. Ba-ba-da-boo! We out here. This doesn't work. It cuts in and out while you're trying to use it. I suspect it's the switch. And I had a peek in there to look at some of the work, and I can say for certain that this is just a hunk of shit indeed. You see your solder melted to the switch casing. The work's not done very well. A lot of the wires are burnt. I really don't want to reverse engineer this. It's not worth it. So I'm thinking I'm going to throw a switch in it. And if that fixes it, so be it. If it does not, maybe a woodcutter can help me out here. And that has to be the brightest LED I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm really getting a good indication of how bright that is. Death ray, disengaged. Wow. JHS really does some good mods. This one's kicking a memory code. If I were to turn this on, this screen would be all gobbledygook. So we're going to open it and take a look. I did a little research on ChatGPT, and it turns out that if there's an issue with the capacitor, the clock is messed up, and the symptoms it's experiencing seem to point to a bad electrolytic capacitor. Now, I've never been in this particular unit. Somebody else has taken this apart and re-glued it, which is interesting. And I guess if you gotta do it, you gotta do it right. So we'll pop this shield off. I think the caps it's talking about are on this board here. And this screw was missing, so somebody's definitely had this off before. I would imagine something in this area. I don't recall this smeary being all over the tops of the other units I have. However, it is on all of them. So, who knows? Ooh, that looks like it's got something coming out of it. And our next victim, this works. It just, anything you touch goes. And I would like to fix that. A little documentation here, because this is all going to have to come out. It's attached to the amp. The back of this has a maxi pad on it. That's nice. Didn't know Peavey made those. Capacitors, guitars, amps, sanitary pads. Pretty cool. Okay, so this entire underside's really sticky. And I'm thinking there was a beer spilt in this. And it didn't get inside the amp, it just got all over it. So I gotta take this circuit board apart, get it out, take a peek at all the connections, and I wanna give this chassis a nice scrub down because it's pretty gross. And also check things like these jacks. I'm not gonna be able to touch the connections up on the loose ones without taking the board out. So I'll give it a real nice once over. I don't think I'm gonna be recapping this. I don't see anything that's bulging, and the amp does work. Like I said, it's just got a lot of noise on the pots. So, and I think it's because, you know, it's just, everything's sticky. So we'll get them cleaned out and see where we're at. Yeah, as expected, these solder joints are cold here. So we're gonna spray these out now. I figure the only thing to do it correctly would be the right stuff. That's better. I'd say that cleaned up pretty good. I took this and put it on the high gain jack and tightened that down. And this doesn't match, but it kind of is what it is. I don't know really where I'm gonna get that. I'm sure you'll tell me if you know and try to say I'm an idiot. There was definitely beer spilt all through this. So I got all the pots cleaned up. It shouldn't be all anymore, and got the top cleaned up and the chassis on the underside. So I've been talking to Skynet. If it's correct, I will definitely beat this to death with a hammer just to keep it from causing chaos in the future for the generations to come. I took a picture and uploaded it and told it what it was doing, and it's pinpointed some issues. So we're talking on the power supply board here, so I'm going to pull that out. Let's take a little documentation how that's wired. All right, done. No, Mauser. Priority 1. It's a liquid channel. Let's start on the power supply here. See, we got a little bodge. And we'll just fix that later. That's why some of these people who critique the work on YouTube or whatever, I'm not a professional. I'm just trying to make the shit work, but like this is from the factory and this unit cost like $3 grand when it came out. So like, shut the fuck up. All right, this is going back in because I can't keep myself from touching the cream. All right, next. A couple screws and remove. Well, we went from brain dead to this, so I guess Skynet wins again.